All right, what's up, guys? It's Seth back here with another video. So, as you can probably tell in the hills right now we're at a Thousand Oaks in California. So I'm freaking stoked, bro. It's been amazing. It's been crazy out here. Absolutely love California. Honestly, I would move here. Eventually, I plan on getting a probably a little crib out here on the hills because, I mean, as y'all can see, it's just it's a breathtaking view. I mean, I've been a guy always that loved views. So this is just absolutely amazing. But we got our wine here. We got a cigarette here. We didn't have the cigars, sadly, so we had to make it do with the cigarettes. But cheers. But yeah, I basically just wanted to come on the video and give everybody like a breakdown. Like, I feel like I needed to come on camera and talk about kind of like my journey, my whole journey from like when I first started grinding to where I'm at now, because I post a lot of just like the wins and success now, but I didn't record a lot of the upcoming. Like, I recorded some. If you look at my channel, there's some of the upcoming in the grind there, but there's a lot of it that's left out. And I wanted to come on here and pretty much just give everybody like my personal like story, because my story, I think, is it's a pretty unique story. Some of the people that I've known for a long time obviously know my story, but I just want to come on and share it, and of course have it on here for myself, right? So that's basically what this YouTube is. Don't think it's me just posting videos to flex or whatever that is. I record these videos in the very beginning just to document my journey for myself, so I could see it when I grow up, and then so my son can see it as well. I'm sure a lot of y'all don't know as well. I do have a son. He's 4 years old. He turns 5 actually in November 11th. So yeah, it's crazy. I had him when I was 15 years old, but yeah, it's a lot more on your plate when you have a family to take care of. So I not only do I have my family, my mom, my dad, their sides of the family, but I have my own son that I need to build a life for, and make a path, because I don't want him just doing random things like I did when I was a kid, trying to grind all this stupid shit that adds up to nothing. I want him to go on a path that's fulfilling to him, and then he knows he can take. He doesn't have to take all these risks to try to make something happen like I did. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to come on here and give a nice breakdown. So shit, honestly, I don't know really where to start. We could probably start from my entrepreneurial journey. I mean, ever since like 13, I can remember. I always had it. There was always something different, I guess, about me than everybody else around me at the time, right? I always had that mind where like I was wanting to go out and make money, even at 13. So I remember the first time we did this thing with loom bracelets. If y'all know what that is, loom bracelets, that's super freaking hilarious. But one of my boys in my neighborhood used to be really good. His family used to be really good at making these loom bracelets, bro. And I was like, damn, I was like, y'all could really sell these. I was like, well, let's sell them. So I got everybody to make like a bunch of loom bracelets. And then I got me and his sister and some other of the neighborhood, their little friends, the girls, and I got them to go around door to door just selling loom bracelets, bro. And I think we made like $100 that day, bro. It was insane for like 13 years old. That was super funny, but that was like the first memory I can think of where like I was starting that entrepreneurial things, and then of course I tried mowing lawns, and different things when I was a kid, not even before 15. 15 is probably when I really started trying things online. But I want to give it the whole breakdown before I go into all that. So 15, I just had turned 15. I just had met Paris. That was my baby mama. She unfortunately she did pass away. She passed away, I believe it's 3 years now. So, but yeah, she passed away due to some unfortunate circumstances. I'm not gonna talk about it on this video, but yeah. So met her. That was when I first met her, when I probably just turned 15. And then as well, I just started trapping, if y'all know what that is. I used to sell like those cake carts. But yeah, so 15, that's where I first started everything. I got into high school, and I used to play football. I played football a lot. And when I got into high school, I was like, well, man, I'm pretty good, but I know I'm not going to be like, I know I don't want to go to the NFL. I know I'm not going to, be up there because I haven't put all my time into it. So I was like, well, I can either start making money now, or I could just, keep playing football and then kind of just like wasting away my high school days. So boom. At that time, at 15, when I was 15, I mean, I'm 20 now, but so 5 years ago, In like the trapping game, I guess you can say, there was not really there was not really many people that were like trapping that wasn't like, how do you put it, like quote unquote hard or quote unquote like ghetto. Like you had to be ghetto, you had to be like a tough guy, I guess you can put. I don't really know how to put it. Not like nowadays where you see like all these geeks doing the shit, but back then it was just like straight, like you were like that. You were born into it. So I pretty much started it in my area. I would think of like being the first like just white guy, white kid doing it. Obviously, you know, I struggled. My family didn't like, I wouldn't say struggled, but I didn't have it great. So, but yeah, so I started that up. And yeah, when I was 15, I started just pretty much slowly just built it up. I used to live, so I lived in Conroe. Um, when I was 15, I got like kicked out of my mom's. I got a tattoo, was just doing dumb things, doing a lot of drugs, smoking weed, taking pills, dumb things. So she kicked me out, and I lived up there in Conroe with my dad. So that was like 2 hours away, had no friends, nothing. I was in complete isolation. And all I did every day there was literally just waste my days away. I would just smoke, I'd just like play the game and just try to like escape my reality, what it was. But the only thing that I did every day was I would just, my boy just started getting into like the trapping scene or whatever. And I was just studying. I was studying the whole market. I was doing so much research, working a little bit with my dad to save up money. But I was doing that planning basically when I got back to Pearland is where I live to start doing it, whatever. Long story short, I ran it up doing the trapping. I was making pretty good money. And long story short, after, you know, a few years of doing all that, I almost got killed. There was a few things that happened. You know, I crashed my truck. I lost my truck, totaled it. Um, Almost died. Almost got killed by a guy in our area who took out a lot of the big names in the area. Almost died. And thank God, glory to God, I did survive that. And then as well, boom, the last straw was I went to jail. So went to jail, got caught up. And honestly, that was a blessing that I did get caught up. I mean, if I didn't, who knows in the world where I'd be at today. But honestly, I look at it as a blessing. I didn't then because I lost everything. I mean, I lost all the money I worked for like those 4 years that I was doing it. Lost all the money. Lost a lot of respect, I guess you can say, by like my family, things like that. But yeah, I mean, I lost everything. I was pretty, it was a tough time. But yeah, I spent like, it's just like, imagine you spent 4 years doing something, you know, grinding, your passion was for it. And then, you know, you just absolutely lose it all. So, you know, I was dealing with that, back to it. But yeah, I mean, I pretty much lost everything at the time. Um, so yeah, I was just really, really down bad. And yeah, after that, I mean, like I was making good money. I'm not going to say numbers, but you know, I was making good money for that age. And yeah, I just didn't know what to do after that. It was probably like 6 months after that I was just down in a hole. And I was just very depressed because you got to think at the same time, like that's my baby. That was my baby, right? Like 4 years, I built up a business. Yes, it was the wrong type of business, but the aspect was still the same. I still had, you know, like workers, I still had employees, I still had like a lot of things rolling like a real business would, like accounting, like all that stuff. And like it got taken away from me. And I really liked the entrepreneurial path. Like that's my passion, you know? So when that got ripped away from me and I didn't know what to do, I was just feeling sorry for myself, making excuses, this and that. Guys, camera broke out right there, but yeah, I basically just fell to my knees and I just prayed to God. And after I said the sentence, after I said those things, I just felt him come into my heart, felt him overcome my body, and I just knew like everything was gonna be all right. So now that was the try. Ever since then, God's been in my life. I put God first through everything, and I want to preach that here today. Like without God, I wouldn't be here today. There's been so many times that I should have been, whatever it might have been, dead, in jail, just lost in life completely. Without him, there would be no possible way where I'd be at today. So all glory is to God at the end of the day. Always keep him first. Always pray. Always have your gratitude every single day. And ask him, have faith in him. He knows the bigger picture and he knows your journey of life. When the right time comes around, it'll come around for you, and it did for me. So that was the main thing I wanted to come on here and say as well. Like all glory to God. I would not be here today without God. So, but yeah, I mean, that was my lowest point right there. And after that, you know, I picked myself up and, you know, I slowly started trying different things. So 6 months went by, got out of my depressive state, I fixed my entire life around after that. I mean, I hit the bottom. There was only up from there. So first thing that I can remember that changed my mind, like started reframing my mind, was like David Goggins. If y'all know who that is, I'd highly recommend, if you're just starting right now in your like mental journey, read David Goggins, read both of his books. But I read his first book. I believe it was never finished. And yeah, I read that book and my mind just started to change slowly. And I built a schedule. I built a schedule around me because I needed something like set in stone every single day. I do the same thing and to build my discipline up. So I remember the schedule. I mean, I still do it. I fallen off a lot, but I need to get back on it because it's a good schedule. But like 6 a.m., wake up, I go for a run. I hop in like a cold plunge after in the pool because it was winter at that time. Hop in a cold plunge. I'd read my books. I'd read my Bible. I go meet up with some of the boys like Diego and some of the Adrian Sosa at the time. We'd sit down at a coffee shop and we just talk, have a group meeting, see what we needed to do, and then boom, I get into the day. I do a little bit of my own things, whatever I was trying to do at that time, whether it was like drop shipping or like trading, whatever it was. I did so many things, but I do that and then I go to work and I come back home. I hit a workout. I would meditate. I would think about my day. I would stretch. I'd pray to God and I go to sleep. So I had a pretty set schedule. It was pretty hard, but I mean, that's what really changed my life around. So a few months go by and I dialed in that schedule. And I was just trying different things. You know, I tried multiple different online businesses. I tried drop shipping. I had success with that. But before I even got into anything online, the first job that I worked before I took like my first big risk was boats, was offshore. So I worked on tugboats. Basically what that is I go out for 2 weeks offshore in the water. I'd stay on the boat for 2 weeks at a time. And yeah, just lived on there with a bunch of random guys. I got to know the guys very well. Taylor, aka T-Tug, that's my boy. Met all them. And I was working on the boats for like 6 months. And I will say that is when my mind was absolutely like 100% the best it ever was in my life. Like my mindset was solid. Any thought that ever came into my mind, I knew what I was thinking of. I can control my thoughts. I controlled what came in my mind and what came out it. I did the things every day. I didn't want to do things. I made myself do it. So for example, if I had to wipe down the boat with a rag, the entire boat inside and out, if there was one spot I didn't want to hit, like for example, like the toilet, I did not want to hit it. But I heard myself, I said, oh, I don't want to do it. Okay, so now I'm going to do it. Just little things like that just slowly built my mental more and more and more until I came like unstoppable, really. And I was on the boats and I was doing real estate at the time. I was trying for my real estate license. I dialed in, I was studying on the boats, and I passed my real estate license. That was the first like accomplishment that I ever hit. So I finished school. I'm never good at school. And, you know, but I put in the time and I studied and I passed my real estate license. I got that. That was a huge success. That was very hard. And I was just learning the whole time on the boats. Other people on there were just messing around, like playing games, just doing useless shit, scrolling. I was watching educational YouTube videos, Jack Hopkins, Bedros Koulios, Iman Gadzhi, a bunch of big names. I was just watching and studying everything, all different business models, literally everything you can think of. I was just studying. And I was just watching videos. I was reading my books. I was only listening to meditational music. I didn't listen to rap. I didn't listen to any music. I didn't want any negative frequencies coming into my head. I literally only listened to meditational music and the thoughts inside my head. And then obviously I listened to like church things, scriptures of God. And then I read my educational books and educational videos. And that was really it. I mean, I didn't eat like shit. I didn't eat anything bad. Ate only good, very good, healthy things. And I was just dialed in. I don't know how really else to explain it, but I was really very, very like locked in. And yeah, so I worked probably 6 months on those boats. And it got to a point where I was like, you know, I could do this if I really wanted to. It's not that it's hard, but I knew that my time out there was getting wasted. Like it wasn't value. I mean, I knew my time was worth more than just being out on the water for 2 weeks straight, coming home for a week. Like I knew that wasn't my life. So I used my time wisely on there. I studied about business models, things like that, like I told you. And of course I had Diego. At that time, like Diego and me have always been pushing to do great things. Always had the same mindsets. Really him is a big shout out to Diego. I mean, without him, I wouldn't be here where I am today. He helped me a lot along the way. I mean, obviously I helped him. It was a mutual relationship, but you know, we helped each other along the whole way to get where we are now. But, you know, he kept me in check, you know, didn't want to do certain things. He pushed me to do it. Just like a check-in. You need that. You need somebody that's like-minded like you and down for the journey. So, yeah, we were talking every day when I was working on the boats. He was working his job and I was telling him like I stacked up probably like $10,000, $12,000. And we've been talking about it for a while. It's like, man, we need to move out. We need to just take a jump and make something happen online. So we ended up moving out to an apartment. I quit my job. I moved out to the apartments. We moved out into an apartment. The same day I quit my job, I got back from the boats. I quit. I immediately signed a lease on an apartment with him for a year. And we jumped into it, not knowing anything, had no plan, and just tried a whole bunch of shit. We tried YouTube. We did the YouTube for a while. I did fitness training. I did drop shipping, and I had success in everything. So I did my fitness training at first, had one client, and I was trying my drop shipping. So we were in the apartment. I was doing the drop shipping. Long story short with that is I got some success off organic drop shipping. I ran like a box, like a magnet box you put under your car. I did that. I was getting I got like 10,000 followers on Facebook in the span of like a month. I was getting like 1 million views every video. I was getting probably like $100, $200 a day off my sales. And it was starting to really boom. And I was like, wow, this is really happening for me. And like, this is like 6 months into the apartment. And like, I didn't hit it instantly when it took like 6 months for something to actually work out. And that was working out for me. And I was like, man, it's finally happening again. Like, it's been so many years since I had a successful business. Like, it feels so good to have this again. And probably like the week of it running the best. I remember I went out of town with my family. Some of my family went to Schlitterbahn, and I was hitting crazy numbers. I started hitting like 200 a day, and it was just crazy. I was traveling with them, and I was making money online, and it was a good feeling. And then the next morning I woke up, and Facebook just banned my account out of nowhere for no reason. So then again, something else, in my life failed at the time. I think, fuck, why is this happening to me? Why me? Why me? Banned my account. I couldn't get it back. And I was very disappointed. I fell back into the state again of just, feeling sorry for myself. Things don't work out for me, this and that. And I fell into another depression state when I was in the apartment. I started, spending the rest of the money I had on stupid ass shit, was just distracting myself. My biggest thing at the time was just distracting myself. If it was going out with friends, spending a shit ton of money, just doing stuff every single day to escape my reality, I guess I could say. So just doing all that, and eventually I hit rock bottom again. Not rock bottom as bad, but I went like $3,000 in debt, had the apartment, had no bills, had no job, and I was fucked. So had to get out the apartment. I couldn't afford it anymore. I was dragging Diego down at the same time because I was just doing drugs. He was trying to do his own thing. He was falling into what I was doing because, who you're around. So I was like, all right, I'm just going to leave the apartment. So luckily, one of my boys, Eli, he was able to take the lease in my apartment. Not fully take it, but I had him sub in. So I replaced him with me. So Diego had somebody that could pay the rent. And then I went and lived with my dad again. So I lived out in Conroe, was trying different things with drop shipping, wasn't working out. And yeah, I was just living with my dad again, working for him for a little bit, stacking back up my money, and just getting back into that mindset again. So I reframed my whole life again, started with my good schedule, started building myself back up from zero. And I got into like reselling. So that was like the next thing I got into, I guess, was reselling. So like all those spider hoodies and all that shit. And I got successful at it too. Everything I've done, I've always had success in it because I knew, I was always you're not going to fail until you quit. So I always knew I was going to be successful in anything I did. So I was probably making like $5,000 a month with reselling, but it got to a point, I moved back to my mom's after my dad's. I started to get some success, and I moved with my mom, and I was probably making like $5,000 a month, but I shortly realized, I was like, man, this is not scalable. I can't do this online. Like, I have to physically give these products to people. I have to ship them out. I have to do so much things. And obviously at the end of the day, it wasn't legal. So, that was the first time that I absolutely shut down a business myself. So I shut everything down. I sold it off pretty much to somebody I knew. So sold everything. And, yeah, so I stopped that business, and it sucked, but at least this was my decision this time. So I knew okay, it was my choice to shut this down because I wanted to do something that was right. So boom, got back into the apartment after that, quit that, stacked up some money, got back into the apartment with Diego. And I believe we probably had I don't even remember. We probably had maybe 3 months left on the lease. So got back in there with him, and we just started grinding. I was working 2 jobs. I was working an inside sales job, selling winches, if y'all know what that is. And then I worked as a server at the restaurant Diego was working with. So I had 2 jobs when I first got into the apartment. Literally the beginning of this year, January, I had 2 jobs. From December to January, I was working 2 jobs, was grinding, got back into the apartment, and me and Diego were just back on our schedules. We were back grinding. We were going hard. We were going crazy. And we were just grinding. It was like 15-hour days. I'd work both jobs, come home, and that's when we bought a mentorship. We were trying to do paid drop shipping, which is basically, it's not organic. You're running ads on your drop shipping product. So me and him bought a course for $4,500. We bought a course and we went all in basically again. So we did that. We were trying to run it up, and we slowly realized that, it's going to take a lot of money to run, paid ads on drop shipping. So we hit kind of a point. We were grinding. We were doing pretty good. We didn't make too much money off of it, but yeah, we just realized like, man, we don't have the capital to actually fund this the correct way. So Diego ran a website agency before, and that's what got me the idea. And I was like, man, I love the business model of a website agency. I absolutely loved it. I love that it's scalable. I love that you can work with clients and talk to them. I just love the idea of it. And I was like, man, let's start this up again, because he had stopped. He did it a little bit in the apartment. He got a few clients, but he stopped. And I basically told him, I was like, man, we need to run this again. We need to run it back up. So boom, we started that again. So we started that. And I wanted to go full in. Anything I do, I always go full in. You have to go full in on anything. I'll preach that. Anything you do, there comes to a time where you're going to have to go full in. So, yeah, I quit my sales job, and that was like my security at the time. Like that was my career. Like that's what I was building it for, on sales. And I said, fuck that. I'm going full in on this. So I was working the restaurant job with Diego just so our schedules aligned up, and we were just working 15-hour days. We'd wake up super early, 6 a.m. We'd work. We'd go to work at 4. We'd work till 4 to we get off at like 10, and then we grind till like 4 a.m. in the morning and do it all again. So we did that for a couple of months. I mean, it was a struggle for those 3 months. And yeah, we were just grinding. We made like $2,000 our first month in the agency. And I was like, man, this is it right here. This is what's going to take us off. So, we were talking to him. I was like, really wanted to quit my job, like at the restaurant. I've always been the type of person to I could never work a 9 to 5. I said, obviously ever since like a young age, I was always entrepreneurial. I like doing things my way. I like being my own boss. And I hate listening to people working just useless work, like working at a restaurant. That's useless. You don't get anything out of that. You just get money, and money is nothing but time. So you're just wasting your time at the end of the day, right? For somebody else's company. So I remember I used to tell my mom, I now this is a wrong way of looking at it, but I used to tell her I'd rather not be here, on the earth than have to work a job for the rest of my life. Right. Like that's how serious it was for me. So, me and Diego got together, and I was like, man, we need to quit our job. We need to quit this job. But we were like, we have bills to pay. We didn't have it like that yet. And I remember we were supposed to lock our client in, Ruben, one of our clients now, roofing client. Or no, I'm sorry, Purity. Sorry, it was Purity. It was David, and he owns a commercial glass business. And we met up with him, and he wanted to pay us like $4,200 in advance for the whole year. And I was like, damn, Diego. I was like, man, this is it right here, bro. This is what's gonna set us up. Like, let's quit our jobs. Let's go full in on this shit. So me and Diego quit our jobs before we even got the money. We quit and we went full in. Long story short, we ended up only getting like $1,200 from him. But it didn't matter. Like us making that jump, going full into the business is what made it work. So boom, we went full in. We were grinding, we were studying, we were cold calling clients all day. We were doing anything you can, 15 hours a day, just working on this stuff. And that's when I found Armando, actually. So I seen an ad. I seen one of his ads. It's crazy how we met. I seen one of his ads, and I was like, damn. I was like, this dude right here, bro. I was like, he knows what he's doing. I was like, this guy looks fucking smart. He sounds G as fuck. I was like, this is somebody I want to be around, bro. I want to learn from this guy. And I was telling Diego, I was like, bro, we're going to work with him, bro. Like I knew before anything. I was like, we're going to work with him. He's going to be our mentor. And we're going to do big things with this guy, bro. So I remember checking on his ad, and I scrolled down through his page. I was looking at all his stuff on his Instagram. And I saw the post that he did, and he's like, hey guys, we're out here in Alvin, Texas right now. And I'm like, no shit. I was like, man, we're in Pearland. Like Alvin, Texas is like 30 minutes away. I was like, wow, this guy is local. So I was like, nah, that's crazy. I was like, so I hit him up, and I remember telling him, I DM'd him and I told him, I was like, hey man, I see that you do the agency and stuff like that. We do it too. I was like, I have a few clients that want to run ads, but I don't know how to run ads. I was like, you want to run them for me? And like, I'll give you a percentage out of it. I didn't even have any clients that wanted marketing. I just told them that just to get something on, just to get them on the phone. And we hopped on a Zoom call, and he already knew it was up, but we hopped on a Zoom call, and we talked for like probably like 3 hours. We talked to him. Me and Diego just chopped to him, and we were just connecting, bro. Like, he fucked with our vibe. We were young. He was young, and he was telling me how much he was making, how he did it. He was giving us a lot of value on that call, a lot of sauce. And at the end of the call, I was like, man, I was like, to be honest, bro, I was like, I have this much in my account right now. If I gave this to you right now, would you teach us? Because he wasn't running a mentorship at the time. He had no program. He wasn't training anybody because he was so busy. But I was like, man, I want to work with you, man. What can I do? Like, I'll give you all this. So me and Diego gave him everything that we had at the time. We took a massive risk with him, and we went all in. But I knew I needed the information to be successful. It all comes down to information. You could work as hard as you want. Just think of construction workers. They work 15 hours a day. So if it comes down to it, like, okay, if you work hard, well, why aren't the people that work the hardest aren't making money? It's the information. You have to have the information. The correct information is going to take you somewhere. You implement the correct information, you work hard towards that, that's what's going to make it. So I knew I needed the right information, and Armando had it. So he accepted it. He accepted it, and we started working with him, man. He taught us everything he knew. He was a G. He showed us everything he knew. He gave us a lot of resources, a lot of tools. And in our first 30 days, me and Diego did like 6.5K. One of my biggest months that I've had in a while, from like stopping all the other businesses I had in the past. So that felt crazy. I was like, man, we're doing it. We're full in. I'm finally free. I don't have to work a job anymore. We could finally do this. So yeah, we slowly started scaling up with him. Obviously built a bigger connection with him. Now he's one of our boys. Like, that's my brother for real. Shout out to Armando 100%. Like, that's my fucking brother. Felt like I've known him forever. It's my blood, just like Diego. And we have our whole team, man. I mean, that's what I've always wanted, a team of like-minded individuals just grinding on the same shit. And I have it now. I manifested literally everything in my life. I manifested it all. Of course, it's all thanks to God, but I manifested everything I have. And yeah, so we worked together, slowly started doing more things. Armando gave us opportunities in his company. We took them. We helped Armando set up the program, and to help other people do the same like we were doing. I told him, I was like, man, like, you helped us. Why are you not helping other people? So, we helped him set that up. And now we're in the process of scaling our agency. Armando's scaling his agency even more. And yeah, we're fucking going crazy. This is literally a dream come true. It doesn't feel real sometimes. Like, just looking around, like, like, I don't know. It's fucking crazy. I'm blessed. I'm super blessed. But just know that it's fucking possible, bro. I went through a lot of shit. In my life, just from losing people that I knew, failing in different businesses, people talking down on you, family members, this and that, all this different shit. But it's life at the end of the day. It's fucking life. It's inevitable. Shit's gonna happen. The biggest thing is you don't fucking stop. Always get back up. You always keep pushing, bro. You fail forward. That's the biggest thing I learned. There's a difference from failing and failing forward. You failing is you giving up. That's 100% guarantee that you fail, is if you give up. But if you don't give up and you keep failing forward, you fail, but you learn from it and you keep pushing, that you will eventually make it. It's just God's timing. So, I mean, I was 5 years just fucking failing forward, different shit. Things weren't working out. But I always kept faith. And now I'm blessed to say that I'm out here today in California. And I run my agency. I'm free. I can travel wherever I want. I can go wherever I want. I can eat wherever I want. And yeah, now I'm slowly helping my family out. That was my biggest thing, is just giving back to my mom, giving back to my family. So that's before I take care of myself. Of course, I want an AMG. I want an AMG GT. But before I get that, I'm gonna help out my whole family. So I've slowly been doing different things, help my sister out. Took our whole family out to a nice dinner. Slowly doing different things, but I'll make sure they're set first before I do anything for myself. That's one of my biggest things. And Armando did the same. He just gifted his dad a truck. So it's just inspirational. So yeah, I mean, I've been through quite a fair share of things in my life. But I just wanted to come on here and basically say, like, doesn't matter what you go through. Doesn't matter if you have it like that. If you don't, it's possible. If you want something bad enough, you can make it happen. And just keep God first. That's my biggest thing. Keep God first. Keep him in your life. Let him guide you. Keep faith in him. Keep faith in yourself in the process, and things are going to work out. But you have to dedicate yourself to whatever you do. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's school. If you're wanting to go to college, you have to dedicate yourself on everything you do, or you're not going to be successful. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, that's that's a very small sum of kind of like my life story as entrepreneurial and things that happened in my life. But I mean, I wanted to come on here and give y'all just some like a real version of me, because I mean, of course, y'all see all the stuff on Instagram, the stuff that I post, and yeah, it's like that's a part of it, right? But it's not the full thing. So I'm human as well. I go through different things, but yeah, I just wanted to show everybody like what really goes on, what really happened in my life, what helped change me, things like that. So I hope everybody that watched this video, I appreciate it. If you got to the end, I hope that you really do take away something from this. And yeah, if your goal is to be entrepreneurial and take action into yourself and makes things happen, I mean, you know what you need to do. Deep down, everybody knows what they need to do to be successful. That's just, I'm going to put it like that. I knew what I needed to do. It's just actually doing it and putting it in force. So I appreciate everybody for watching this. Cheers. The boys are about to cook up some steaks right now on the grill. They've been waiting for me to finish this video, but yeah, life's good, bro. Life's good, but it's always a roller coaster. It's gonna go up and down. Just have faith that everything's gonna work out for you. So, all glory to God. Cheers. We'll see you on the next one.